everyone, and welcome. So, last week we did an overnighter. I showed there wasn't a whole lot of snow. I said I was hoping it would snow soon. Check this out. So, a couple days ago we got a few inches of snow. Then on the 12th we got another 6 inches. And it's been snowing on and off since, a bit here, a bit there. Today they weren't calling for any snow at all, maybe a 30% chance. But every now and then there's a few little flurries that come down. But we finally get to play with our snowshoes. There's a few snow machines that have gone past here and packed the trail. So I don't really need the snowshoes yet. But I'm going to grab the gear and carry the snowshoes. We're going to walk down the trail. And when we get to a good spot, I'll strap on the snowshoes and we'll make our own little trail and go have lunch. So behind me is a new little trail that I haven't been down yet. So what do you say we strap on the snowshoes and go find a nice little spot? First day back on the snowshoes is always the roughest. Whew! You almost forget how much work it is to walk in these things. Wow. Well, there's a small little clearing here. I think we'll do just fine for what we want. Whew. So I guess the first thing I'm going to do is bust out my shovel and shovel out a small area so we can have a fire and have a clear area that I can put the firewood. And then we'll go see what we can find for dead standing. Keeping in mind that all we need is just a small fire, just enough to cook lunch and make some tea. There's a small little tree here, dead, standing next to no snow on it, being protected by these two trees to keep the snow off of it. I've got the Agawa Boreal 24. I'm going to cut this down, and there's another one just over there. And I think between those two, that'll be plenty of firewood. So here's the firewood that I have cut up. I've already prepared a good fire lay just to keep the fire off of the ice as much as possible. Once we get a good bed of coals, it won't matter. I'm going to use one of my homemade fire starters. Spread it apart. This is just a cotton pad that I dipped in Vaseline and then I coated with wax. They are waterproof. And they last for quite a while. I have a video on how to make these. I believe it was almost 2 years ago now. There. It helps once you hit it with a spark. So now that the fire's lit and burning away, get some water on to boil. Put that as close to the fire as I can. And keep an eye on it. Try not to knock it over. In that last video where I was camping, and I mentioned I found another frying pan. That's two now that I find a year apart, roughly. I posted a few pictures of it in a group on Facebook. I mentioned that I found it and that I brought it home. Now, I took a lot of flack for that. I had a lot of people commenting, oh, if it was hanging in a tree, you should have left it there. Oh, I hide things in the woods all the time, and I like to go back and use the same pans. We come out to the woods to see nature, to see the beauty in the trees, not to see frying pans in the trees. If you need to bring a frying pan to cook your meal, bring a frying pan to cook your meal, and when your meal is done, bring your frying pan back home. I know a lot of guys are like me. I don't camp in the same spot every time. I move around all over the place. If I was to leave a pan in every spot that I go, I wouldn't be able to afford to go because I'd be spending all my money on frying pans. I go to way too many places. And then you rely on your frying pan being there, and you get there and it got moved, or somebody saw it and took it because they thought it was garbage. Now you're stuck with food with no frying pan. Isn't the smarter way to just bring your pan with you everywhere you go? Whether they want to complain about it or not, doesn't matter to me. I feel good that I took it. Now, that being said, when I found it, it was hanging in a branch right next to a beer can that they had been shooting at with pellet guns. Because I found a few pellets inside the can. When I saw the can, I took a closer look at the pan. Here's the pan I found. Now, I don't know if you're going to see this, but right here, there's a little pock mark where it was hit with a pellet. So if you're going to hang your pan in a tree and shoot at it, yes, I'm more than willing to take it home. Now, after cleaning it, the only thing I found wrong was that little pock mark. So we're out here today and we're going to try and cook some lunch on it. Water's hot, starting to boil. So we're going to drop in our little tea ball and start steeping some chaga tea. Okay, now that the tea is steeping, we're going to move it off to the side a little bit. And we're going to try and pull some of these coals over here. We're going to add some wood at this end to keep the fire going. And we'll put our grill at this end. And this way, if I need more coals under here, I can pull them from the back. Now let's set the pan on here to start warming up. And I brought a little bit of margarine. Put some of that in there. Just to start greasing up the pan a little. I couldn't think of a better way to test a pan than with some bacon. Bacon is cooking away. But I do believe the tea is ready. Set that aside to cool. Oh, that looks beautiful. No! Would look better if I didn't spill it on the ground. Keep the pot somewhat close to the fire just so it stays warm. Nice. Once the bacon's pretty much done, I also brought along a couple of eggs. And 2 pieces of bread to make some toast. It's pretty cold out here today. I hope these didn't freeze. find out. Oh no, they're perfect. So I've moved the pan over and made a bit of room so that I can start with the toast. Now let's see if we can flip these eggs. Beautiful. So there's the bacon and eggs and the toast. I removed the grill from the fire and placed it in front here, so I've got somewhere to put the food on. And I'll throw some more wood on the fire here. Now that we're not cooking, I'll get a bit of margarine on these toast. That bacon is beautiful. So that egg was just a touch overdone. Still very good. Ah, there we go. Beautiful. All depends on which spot of the heat it's sitting on, I guess. The one was in higher heat and it cooked a little more. But the other one is beautiful. Fantastic. Last piece of bacon. Now, two reasons that I wrap the eggs with a little bit of paper towel. One, after I eat, I can wipe off my dishes. And two, so that the eggs don't bounce together and break on the way in. So, bacon, eggs, all in the frying pan. Who wants to see what kind of damage it did? Check that out. Absolutely nothing is stuck. So if I put just a bit of water in this and warm it up, I should be able to wipe it out, no problem. So let's get that back over the fire. And put just a little bit of water in there. And now I can put my gloves back on and warm up my fingers. Because believe it or not, it is cold out here. I have enough layers on. I'm nice and warm. I'm not cold at all. But just having taken my gloves off long enough to have lunch, my hands are really cold. Oh, nice warm tea on a cold day. Feels great. I'm going to put the rest of that tea just a little closer to the fire and warm it up. So the pan is nice and clean. Absolutely nothing stuck. Which is great. I've warmed up my tea a little bit. I've got the last of the wood on the fire. We're not going to be staying much longer. It is so nice to be out on the snowshoes again. But like I said, the first trip out is always the hardest. Got to get back into using them again. Got to get the legs back into the shape, pulling the sled. Especially before I end up doing an overnighter. Because with an overnighter, you've got a lot more weight in that sled that you got to pull behind you. Oh, it's fun though, worth it. So as you can see, in the last week or so, we've gotten a little over a foot of snow. Luckily it's been a dry snow, it's been light and fluffy. When it's wet and heavy, it's a lot of work to try and shovel that. But light and fluffy, shoveling the walkways and clearing out the parking space, no problem. But I think this is where we're going to call it a day. Let's sit here for a bit, enjoy the last of this fire. The beautiful scenery with all the snow in the trees looks fantastic. But I want to thank you all for coming along. Always a pleasure having you with me. It's always a great time out here. So if you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more of it, hit the subscribe button. And if you're going to do that, you may as well hit the notification bell. When you do, there will be a drop-down menu. In that menu, select all, and it should let you know whenever we put out a new video. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.